Hey everybody, and welcome to another Mail Art Monday. Whew, it has been a while since I have done one of these, and I have no excuse other than my life has been just chaos. If you're following me on Instagram, you will kind of have heard my story and just sort of seen me updating and talking about how crazy life has been for me in March, and everything just sort of slipped away from me. I kind of had, I wouldn't really call it like a meltdown or a breakdown, but I had some physical manifestations in my body that led me to believe that my body needed a break. So, I decided to make some big changes and to step away and sort of make those decisions for my health. And since I have sort of released some of the requirements and stress that I put on myself for the things that I like to do or want to do, I haven't had any of those manifestations anymore. I didn't go to the doctor about it. I don't have health care, so it's kind of difficult when you feel like something might not be wrong, but you also feel like maybe it could be just anxiety. You have to sort of like have that real come to Jesus about like, is this worth going into debt for, to find out I'm just having like an anxiety or a panic attack. It wasn't really an anxiety attack, but all the symptoms that I were having when I did the Google Doctor machine, all of the symptoms were stress and anxiety related, which totally makes sense. I had a lot, like emotionally and physically and mentally, sort of occur in a very short amount of time. And I think I just fizzled. Like my body was just like, no, you need to stop. We need to sort of decompress for a second. And that is what I have done. I have made the choice to completely step back. I am going to be filming and uploading as and when I can. I'm not putting any stress or pressure on myself in any way, shape, or form. But the stuff that you are seeing me open here is from Crafty Lisa's Vintage. Lisa actually had to step away in March as well and missed one of her sales, but this is her kitchen and cooking sale, and I'm not opening everything in today's video. I'm only opening a few of the packages because I want to limit the supplies that I'm using. I felt like if I opened everything she sent the design team members, I would have gotten overwhelmed a little bit, and I probably wouldn't have seen everything that I was using. And I really wanted to challenge myself to just use a couple of the packs. I'm going to be opening the rest in a separate video, but I haven't decided if that's going to be a mail or a journal video. We'll see what the fates have in store for me. But I did want to do a Mail Art Monday video just because I needed the envelopes because I'm getting caught up on some of my letters. That was one of the big things that I was super stressed out about, is I had probably over 30 letters that I had to reply to, probably closer to 40, 45. And when you have a pile like a foot high that you have to reply to, it gets a little bit stressful because you know that these people around the globe are waiting anxiously for your reply and to get something back from you. And I just had way too much else that was more important than that. And that didn't seem fair to me. So that is one of the reasons why I decided to take a step back. I am not making YouTube a huge priority anymore. I still want to upload, but I have slowly come to realize that YouTube is just not where all of my attention and focus needs to be. It was a couple of years ago because it was really the only thing that I was doing. But now that I have got Patreon and an Etsy shop, I had 2 physical product releases that I made, like physically made them and had them printed and then had to release them and ship them all off. I did 2 of those. I never have done that before, and I learned my lesson to not do that again. But yeah, so I'm putting my priorities in different areas right now. I am taking the month off in May for Patreon, so I'm not going to be doing anything for Patreon. I'm going to take the month off and sort of reevaluate what I want to do and where I want to go and how I want to execute my future endeavors. And another thing I'm stepping back in is the YouTube. I love YouTube. I love creating for YouTube. Honestly, it's the easiest part of my quote unquote job. I love doing this. This is my favorite aspect of like being a part of the community, but I have to make people who pay me money a priority. And what I mean by that are the people that purchase something in my Etsy shop, the people who pay me every month for Patreon. That's sort of what I mean. I have to make that a priority, and I have struggled trying to maintain everybody. YouTube is my least paying venture, so while I love it the most and it is my favorite part, they just don't pay me enough to make it work full time. I wish I was that big, but I am not. Speaking of that, if you are watching this video and not subscribed, definitely consider subscribing. I would really love to see this channel grow more and be able to put more towards it, but with the algorithms the way they're working these days, even though I have a pretty large subscriber base, I am still not being seen anymore, which is quite frustrating when you have almost 11,000 subscribers and less than 1,000 views on most of your videos now. That's pretty disheartening. Not for me, like numbers don't mean a thing for me, but the whole point I do this is to inspire others. And when I'm making something and I'm not inspiring people, it makes me a little bit sad because that is my biggest hope. So, I forgot totally what I was even saying even before that, but basically I have made the decision to just slow down. I mean, if you know me personally, you know that that is something that I definitely struggle with. I don't stop for anything. When I am sick, I work harder. When I am tired, I stay up later. When I'm struggling, I force through. And I have sort of gotten to a point where I need to reevaluate my priorities and how I'm doing things. Maybe I've just bitten off more than I can chew with the babies being as young as they are right now. They are just into everything, and I have to cram everything I do in a 2-hour window while they sleep for nap time. And if you guys could see my to-do lists, you would definitely say that what I am taking on is a full-time job. And I wish I had the luxury, but I definitely don't. I take my family time very seriously. So the second those babies are awake and the kids come home, my priorities totally shift to be there for them, to help with meals and homework and anything else that they need from me. And when they go to bed and it's time for my husband and I to decompress and talk about our days and just sort of have that time with each other, that's very sacred to me. I take that very seriously. And so this going into my office is just not part of that equation. So I think I just need to reevaluate some things. Anyway, so totally rambly. Has nothing to do with Crafty Lisa's new sale that'll be happening on April 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of 2021. She missed one of her sales, and I'm super sad. It was going to be a very, very good one. But instead, we are moving quickly on to her cooking and kitchen themed, food related sort of sale. I love this sale. I think I definitely struggle with working with things that are food related because I'm just not like, I'm not a cook, and I feel like it would be appropriate if I loved cooking or if I was a cook or if I loved recipes and hunting for all that stuff. But I love the challenge of being able to use these supplies regardless of that and making it work. It's a huge variety of stuff, and like I said, I only opened half of all the packages she sent to me, so the variety is definitely not lacking in that area. And the good thing is that it's not all technically food related. There's just a lot of colors that sort of gravitate towards the natural hues, you know, the neutrals, the earth tones, the yellows and oranges and tans and reds. I really vibe with those right now, and I think that Lisa has curated a really, really fun sale to sort of gravitate towards that. And the good thing about Crafty Lisa is that not only is she a sweetheart, she really is like the sweetest woman ever. Her and I were friends before I became a design team member, but she is really thoughtful about all of these things, and it's all done on Instagram. So while you're relaxing and scrolling, you can just go ahead and pick up a few things to craft with, and it's really easy. And I just love that aspect of it. I have personally never done Instagram sales because it is a lot of work behind the scenes, like way, way, way too much work. I could never do that. But the convenience factor is definitely there. I have purchased from her. I've purchased from several people online using the Instagram sales sort of motif, I guess, and I really love that. I think it's really fun. It makes it really user friendly. You can see all the items very clearly. Sometimes there are stories that go along with some of the items that you're seeing, and I personally super love that when I can see where a story that comes with an item, like where that particular item came from or what it was used for, what it was meant to be used for, and I love that. So being able to trust Lisa with that is really, really fun. I decided to use all of the supplies today just to make 3 envelopes, but I think in the future I might try to make this work in a journaling spread. I wish I would have thought ahead to bring some writing paper out so I could have decorated some writing paper as well to use in my letters, but I did not think that far ahead. I'm pretty much done at this point. I think about tidying up my station and then I'm like, no, I gotta go. So I'm gonna bring all the envelopes a little bit closer in so that you can see them and that you can see that there is no chunk left in those milk caps. I took all the thick layers off to make them super thin. I love doing that, and yeah, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will leave everything you need to know about Lisa's sale coming up in the description box down below. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll catch you guys later. Bye!